you to remember this, because this kind of series does not happen very often.
You know, when that team formed, everyone thought they were pretty much never going to lose ever. Yeah, everyone thought they were going to be the new God Squad, pretty much.
Yeah, the four-man play.
Yeah, we hadn't lost a tournament in like 6 months.
The most convincing game of strongholds I have ever seen. That's the world champions that they just did that to.
You know, the ceiling is going to continue to be pushed higher.
The competition's definitely really stiff right now. A lot of people are performing very well.
But they're going to have to deal with all the teams that have formed talent to try and take them down.
Ooh, does he get the fight?
He catches it! He catches it!
Right from the mid-map, it's a huge grapple from Lucid.
As the OpTic fans start to raise their voices in the crowd.
3, 2,
1. Best Halo I've ever watched. It's the best Halo I've ever watched.
Yeah, so for season 2 of Halo, they added Imperium, which is Pit, and then they added Argyle, which is like a 3-lane map with 2 snipers, and Pit's pretty much the same thing. 3-lane map, 2 snipes into the rotation. You got Team Slayer on Pit and CTF, and then Argyle is just CTF, but it's a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot of fun playing those maps.
So season 2, they had some weapon tunings. The plasma pistol got upgraded. The tracking on it's better. The commando got upgraded. And the most notable one going into Charlotte was the red rack update.
When you pick up a weapon off of a weapon rack, there's a little bar above it. It used to be like a blue bar to where like if you picked up a weapon, it would automatically start respawning. So they changed it to where when you pick up a weapon off the weapon pad, it just turns red until that weapon is done or like dropped and despawned.
So you can't have like multiple sandbox weapons on the map anymore.
And that helps a lot for competitive play. It's very small, but it becomes very impactful over the longer course of a match. Especially with games that go really long, it can just get really saturated and everyone's using plasma pistols, everyone's using commandos, shock rifles, like I said before. So now that it being a little bit more tempered, there's a little bit more BR play going on, and I think that's definitely brought it back a bit. There's still more tunings that realistically should happen, I would say, for the greater health of comp play, but we're in a pretty solid spot.
Yeah, so pretty much every single team changed except the old C9, which is the new SSG now, and our team.
Lethal stayed on Sen, United kind of imploded, and they found themselves, at least King Nick and Spartan are on that team, and then picked up Collect as kind of like the new talent.
Native White is Barcode, Miquin, Gilkey, and Tapping Buttons, which is like a really weird team. It's 2 of the best like regionals for Mexico and Tapping Buttons, and then Barcode from Australia, and then Miquin coming off of like a year hiatus of playing, and then Gilkey just being Gilkey, so.
And then G1 is a new squad.
Boo Boo stayed on, picked up a whole bunch of scrap players. I think Suspector was on United, so then he went to G1, and
Shopify Rebellion is a new squad. Who else? Complexity, Cloud9. Not the old Cloud9, but there's a new Cloud9 now.
Yeah, so definitely the most significant roster change was the one that the old Sentinels and now the new FaZe made.
dropped the entire roster besides Renegade, stayed on, picked up 3/4 of Sentinels and Snakebite, Royalty, and Frosty.
Which is probably the biggest team change that we've seen in Halo in a long time.
Which obviously makes a very scary team on paper. They're some of the biggest names in Halo, and
They tried to make that move last year. I think that's why like C9 imploded, and that's why he left C9. He was trying to make that roster happen. So finally got the roster he wanted, and it's a really powerhouse team. So
Sab was on G2, Falcade was on FaZe. Everyone just kind of went everywhere. It was a big explosion of roster changes, and it took a long time for people to lock things in, but.
And it's been honestly a lot of fun playing the new teams, so it's been good.
A lot of teams make sense. Competition's still very high, and yeah, matches are pretty good.
What was a mini dynasty towards the end of the year, and they look to continue that on to an actual dynasty in this year too, but they're going to have to deal with all the teams that have formed talent to try and take them down. This is the first time these 2 teams are playing, and the reason that this FaZe roster has made the change is specifically because OpTic Gaming has been a problem for them.
People were just saying that, it's a new God Squad, because Renegade's obviously had success on his own without Snakebite, World 2, and Frosty. Pretty much beating those 3 for the last couple of years, and when that team formed, everyone thought they were pretty much never going to lose ever, especially leading up to the first online qualifiers in the SSG tournament. They were looking great.
We're seeing our Halo World Champions against some of their biggest rivals over the last 5 years here in that of FaZe.
4 seconds, an overkill from Renegade is gonna do it. FaZe have created the upset. They take down your former world champs.
And then after that, there was 2 Charlotte qualifiers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your grand finals. Take it to the streets, and we're gonna find out if the green wall will reign supreme, or will FaZe Clan be able to phase right through them.
You know, we showed up just like any other team. Everyone's kind of out of practice. FaZe is definitely the #1 in terms of like putting in a lot of effort. They have a lot of firepower, so they're like the team to make sure that we're always gunning for.
The last qualifier, we ended up taking them to Game 5. We're playing them very, very well. The more we got to play them.
Here we go, guys. Game number 5 in the grand finals. This is a must-win for each team.
The 4-man. Yeah, the 4-man play.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're having a dance party. Tony, you didn't get the memo? What's going on here?
Yeah, so there was 2 times on on one of the live fire games that we ended up making the play call to kind of all just stay put and kind of bunker down in the same location, and it worked pretty well the first time.
And it looks like they're going to crouch walk
There it is.
all the way toward the bottom mid side. FaZe have successfully been able to collapse onto the A side of the map, but OpTic can now flip the entire map on them.
So in those situations, in those games, there comes a point where like your normal state of play is just like it didn't work out or hasn't been working out, and you know that you're in a weird spot. So our gamble was to just try to 4-man and catch somebody off guard, which we almost did.
33-36. OpTic holding hands as it is Valentine's Day.
Clearly you didn't read OpTic's playbook. That was right in there. Crouch bottom mid and walk across the entire map. But did they account for the double kill coming out of Snakebite? The 4 down now coming out of FaZe? Whatever this plan is, they need to toss it immediately, rip this page out, burn it, eat it, get it out.
We pretty much played too predictable in doing it a second time, and then they still had literally everything, and it just came crashing down in on us.
Yeah, they ended up inching out Game 5 by 1 kill the last qualifier we played them. So we knew it was going to be a battle with them all year.
And we got second in both of those, which was like kind of uncharacteristic of us. We usually dominate the online space, so it definitely like made us realize that the FaZe team was going to be the real deal, and we knew that it was going to take like all of us to beat them. So
and going into Charlotte as well, they're going to be probably our toughest competition for sure.
I'm ready for it. You know, online qualifiers are one thing, but now is when it really matters. Now it's on land, no excuses. Get out there and do the thing.
I'm ready. It's time.
I think there'll be a podium.
It's time to get season 2 kicked off, but before we do that, we have to honor our world champions of season 1. Show some love to your 2022 world champions, OpTic Gaming.
New season, new stories ahead of us here as OpTic looks to defend their title. FaZe, of course, the biggest threat to the throne, and we have a treat here. Just after OpTic get their rings, they have to play right away on the main stage against a brand new Sentinels roster.
But Lethal still has some work to do. Collect picks up 1 though. Now the flank from Lethal could be devastating to OpTic's chances of pushing this flag back towards home. It's not going to happen, and Sentinels strike first in our game number 1 here. And by doing so, he's such a distraction. The flag is moving, and Sentinels could take this one home. But the spirit is strong here for Sentinels. They just need to run this one home. Spawn will do so, and Sentinels take home game number 1.
Yeah, we just got off our ring ceremony, so like we were reminded that we were like world champions. They ended up actually beating us in the game 1, but I didn't really think too much of it.
Yo, Arjun, one more long.
be on rocket.
Long ult, 2 long ult,
Long time.
15 kill swing, 20 kill swing, but you're not out of the game. You have to keep that in mind.
Wow, look at that confidence from Formal aimed up as well. It's 25-8, and OpTic Gaming is back here on the main stage. This is a commanding victory.
Questions asked about Formal coming to this event, certainly starting to be answered. There's one, there's two. Formal's back, baby. How do you get back into the series after crushing defeat like we just saw in Imperium?
This is the home stretch for OpTic Gaming. Another huge lead. It's 216-28.
Desperate play coming in from Sentinels onto B, but there's the reset coming in from Trippy.
Perfect opportunity. APG's rotations that we've seen in the qualifier as well. This man is playing fantastic objective play.
As Lucy will pick up the pieces from Spartan's body.
Oh boy, that needed to be a finish for Collect. He needed to capitalize on the damage for Spartan.
These Rockets, this could be the game, this could be the series going into their hands. Trippy, once again with the boom booms, doing a little bit of work. Collect, he'll be dealt with as well. Trippy clearing the way here for OpTic Gaming. They close out the series at 3-1, and the world champions look strong.
Yeah, we played them, but that'll be our last. We just played 2 matches today.
Oh, okay.
So them and Sentinels and Quadrant.
It was just good to have like a good warm-up match like that at first, like a good team, instead of playing, like someone that we would just run through. So it was a good test, and it was good to set the tone for the whole event.
Yeah, lighting. Yeah, let me show it off. Now this is on the rocks with APG. On the rocks. See, we have my Halo World Championship 2022 championship ring. You see here is custom made. We have my name, last name here, gamer tag, trophy, and then Halo Championship Series, and then Organization of the Year, OpTic Gaming at the front, and then Halo World Championship. Very sentimental piece. Worked very hard with it, worked for it with my team, so I'm hoping to get another one. On the rocks with APG.
We're into it. OpTic Gaming versus Quadrant. Sorry to keep you guys up. Hell, we're going right into it. Quadrant down early. OpTic Gaming able to strike first.
Yeah, OpTic with that 1-0 lead. Quadrant, like we mentioned earlier, might be reeling a little bit after that Game 5 loss. Heavy loss, almost a steak-tacular between Sentinels and Quadrant. Now Quadrant, the task doesn't get any easier as they're up against the Goliath in Halo. OpTic Gaming with 75% on this hill, looking to go up 2-0.
Yeah, honestly, I was not expecting Quadrant to play as good as they did with their sub, 2 Foxy.
Stop the bleeding here, as OpTic Gaming might just bleed out and send us to a Game 5.
Quadrant just played the most convincing game of Strongholds I've ever seen. That's the world champions that they just did that to.
Yeah, I mean, playing Quadrant definitely caught us off guard. They took us to Game 5 because they were playing with a fill-in, and we were probably, we choked the Game 2, that's whatever, but the Game 4, we got 50-point club on Strongholds, which was really weird. They just kind of played it perfect, and we were just playing really bad in that. So going into Game 5, we knew we had to really just lock in. And
instead, looking quite strong, 6-1 is the lead. APG with the few remains of that camo as his body turns to remains as he goes down. But it's OpTic with an 8-2 lead, up 6. Quadrant have the lead. Quadrant have the lead. They're up 1. This is unbelievable. I just got chills witnessing this.
Hush your mouth when I come around. Make one more move and we gon' run down.
Is continuing to wreak havoc on the side of Quadrant. It's 2, and it would truly take a miracle. But surviving the Game 5 is OpTic Gaming as they push forward. SLG falls.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting to take them to a Game 5. I thought we would have, 3-0'd or 3-1'd them. And yeah, I mean, you can never take European teams too slightly because they've gotten so much better. And Legend and Snipe Drone on that team, I think they're probably the 2 best European Halo players right now. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They were a really, really good team.
There's too many times where we also get I think what more so is important is that we are still playing our lives relatively pretty good with weapons. Everyone else is still almost doing too much at times, expecting help, and then 1 or 2 of us dies, and then if we're not trading out, it's a 4v2, 4v1 against a guy with a stalker.
work out with the Bulldog. We did that to ourselves a few times whenever we lost.
It was very interesting, to say the least. I mean, I think we were playing pretty well. I just think we could play better. I would say is like the fundamental thing, but still not a bad day to start. Working out the little kinks and moving on to tomorrow. Get it going.
All right, here we go. OpTic Gaming versus Cloud9. Right back at it. Why isn't this live? That's a good question. We ended up closing that out 3-0. It was a good match to start Saturday for us. It was a really, really good momentum to start the day.
Well, here we go. OpTic Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. Ryan Noob and the crew have a lot of work ahead of them.
This is Champ Bracket. Pool play is over. Now the real tournament begins.
Foundations for this OpTic team. They just came off a World Championship victory, but it has to be frustrating for them, right? Because all the conversation is about this new FaZe superstar team, how Space Station's looking great with Bound. No one's really been talking about this OpTic Gaming roster being as dominant as they were before, and now Shopify Rebellion is starting to poke holes. It's game one for OpTic Gaming. That's the easiest flag run back you'll ever see.
OpTic Gaming puts their foot down on the gas even more here as Lucid looks to push up through the tunnels with that heat wave. Lands the repulsor killing spree. Lucid finding the slay there. Ooh, almost spotting Ryan, who gets the lands the body, cleans up with the headshot. Despite the buff on the accuracy from the sniper, we're seeing more and more players land those bodies. They're going to be a headshot overkill for Lucid. No!
Respawn screen. OpTic Gaming take it 3-1.
Our OBJs were really, really good against them, pretty much closing it out perfectly. And yeah, it was a good round one for us.
Aquarius.
That's a bad start.
Yeah, I mean, either way, Aquarius has always been like, that's a map for us that we've struggled with still.
Some teams, I'd say last season, they kind of were just ending the season together because they had to. I wouldn't say like they necessarily wanted to be on those teams that they were. I think that now this season, everybody's on the roster that they want to be on, so everybody's going a lot harder than last season, I would say in particular. Even though it was like towards the end of the season, most money and whatnot, I still think like there's like a factor in there where you don't want to be on that team. You obviously aren't going to perform your best. You're just trying to get it done and just move on to the next. So now there's like everybody's team with either their friends or their people that they actually wanted to team with. So I think there's just higher competition, like you said, definitely.
Maybe some of these teams have found some holes, found some gaps, and maybe we didn't see before, we didn't see last year. Maybe it's time for G1 to exploit some of those weaknesses. Shields up, weapons hot, we're underway.
I really do want to see OpTic Gaming just take this game by the scruff of the neck, show G1 what they're made of, show the rest of the tournament what they're capable of.
Valkane steps in, but it's too little too late. And APG ensures OpTic Gaming takes game one.
We all have our moments with the snipes, but no, I definitely say Tommy's like definitely the more like consistent one who's going for snipe.
And Lucid's got the sniper rifle.
Oh, and he's already cooking. Is he grabbing that overshield to grab the rockets? Is he still slowed down a little bit? Oh my goodness,
G1 and actually get the better of it. Right now, 61 to OpTic. Oh, 47 to G1.
I'll tell you one thing, every member of OpTic Gaming is comfortable with a sniper rifle in their hands, and that really bodes well for a season where we have more maps that have snipers on them, double snipers as well.
The Shopify series really helped us, like, turning it up a notch, and so we go into the G1 series, like, we know what we're playing for, and like I said, we know we got to get better every series to get to the point we want, so we're just grinding the shit out, and we had a great series against them, if I remember. So that's like the exact series that we needed going into Sunday to like give us that boost, like, all right, we're back to normal form again, you feel me?
Now, one thing we can speak about is OpTic obviously won the last two majors of last year. They are now the defending world champions. Is it a case of they could get a little bit complacent here and perhaps they're not as hungry as they were last year?
time for talk is over. The match that we have been waiting for, that everybody here has been waiting for, is about to kick off. It's OpTic, the green wall, going up against a new-looking FaZe lineup. This is going to be a war all season long between these two teams, but this is the first battle. Question is, who's going to land the first blow? All of OpTic are trapped at the moment, and Renegade wants to end it here. He wants to end it now, and he will! FaZe go 2 up. Is FaZe always want to push? Yeah. They always want to make a play. And OpTic are letting it happen at the moment.
They are. They let Frosty grab that camo from Grapple. Of course, they had
I think that the experiences that we have gone through as a team have molded us into a championship team, like a real championship team that you can never count out. Like, I think that people should start, knock on wood 3 times, I think that people should start looking at us as how they did at CLG/Talk/ the FaZe team back in 2016, when they were showing this resiliency, being able to come back and like when they're down 0-2 or down in losers bracket, coming back to win the tournament, like stuff like that. Like, we are learning. When we are down 0-2, like when we lost that first series against Cloud9 at Worlds, we learned from it. We learned we're not out of this shit until we're actually out of it. So we cannot give up. Don't ever roll over. Don't ever, like, the game's not done until that motherfucker says defeat.
We talked about how OpTic Gaming responds to moments like this. How do they dig deep? How do they find the resilience? Time and time again on the main stage, we have seen them in situations like this, and they can find a way to pull out the victory.
Secure this hill, and with 3 dead, ahead in the clouds, and a couple of bullets to the body, FaZe will go up 3-2.
OpTic Gaming needs to tie the game. They've only got 56 seconds to do so. Trippy's still alive, bought so much time for OpTic. Here comes APG with the OS.
Trippy bought too much time. Trippy bought all the time, and APG says, thank you, Trippy. I move in, and I tie this game up.
Are you kidding me? APG says a lot. Can APG wrap on C? That's the question. Lucid buys some time. Lucid wins an unbelievable battle with 2 dead for FaZe. This should be OpTic Gaming.
Frosty, he gets taken down, and OpTic still in this series. Still in this fight. It's 2-0 to FaZe. This has been nothing short of an electric start from them. They've got 4 minutes to find it. Frosty will be dealt with here by Trippy. A little bit of flank coming in from Renegade, but Trippy turns and burns!
Green wall side of the stage, flag goes in. Back-to-back 4 deads for OpTic Gaming. We are tied 2-2 with 3 minutes left on the clock. There's a lot of responsibility with the snipe. Oh!
Trippy! APG wins it for OpTic!
My God, once again, this whole series has been so back and forth, an absolute tug of war.
When we're gonna take damage on the Aquarius especially, if you're gonna challenge something to get one shot, just know that like that's gonna cause them to push.
Those boots, look at this. Oh, they have no idea he's there. They have no idea.
He gets 2! He gets 3!
One shot, absolutely.
Absolute dominance from up. They don't know he's there. Trippy is an absolute menace.
Surely not again. Surely not again. He's just hiding in the corner, and Dick.
It feels inevitable. 9 kills to go for OpTic. 49, 1 kill to go for OpTic.
Trippy and APG get the kills, and Trippy tries to close it. It'll be Lucid though. All kinds of ice, all kinds of composure books them their ticket to the grand final.
You just gotta like give props where it's due sometimes. Like they went 2-0, they were playing really good. And they were playing really good in all the rest of the games too. We just ended up just clutching up. We had just great composure, and I think they just kind of like lost full, so yeah, got the reverse sweep.
That's exactly what we needed. It's a big step up from how we've been playing.
Yeah, that was by far the best that we've played them in a long time.
Well, just that Aquarius Slayer. No matter the team, we've had like a little bit of struggles, but like that's how we have to play it every single time.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I hit a snipe on Snakebite got rockets. I think we got Ovi. Like, okay, they got rocks.
Yeah, that was big.
Dude, he's just standing like in the middle of the hallway. Oh, so glad I hit that shot.
If you beat FaZe in the winners bracket, you know you're probably going to see them again, 100%, because you know that they're exactly how, like I'm saying, they're that team that has that factor. They've learned. They've been together for shit. 3 of them have been together since 2015 now, so that's a long ass time. So they know, you know, they know what to say to each other to get each other to lock in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go through experiences as a team to get there. So like they will learn from that. We will learn from that. So.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. We've jumped the gun. Now flag gets sent home, and FaZe will be going to the grand finals.
They will fall in third place. It's now the time for FaZe Clan to show up and to get their rematch against OpTic Gaming.
So it's gonna be a good series. Let's close it out.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. All right, man. Safe travels.
Make it as hard as possible. Every single kill. Just don't let these guys get in their flow. Remember, we talked about it already. There's a couple states of play. Like, these guys are going to be throwing. Again, they have a couple ways they play it. Like, they're trying to just rush us with power weapons. If we're just feeding into it, playing for solo kills, they're probably going to win that fight. Remember, just use our numbers, keep track of their flanks. Like, we know how these guys play. We just fuck them up. Just keep reminding them of that from the get-go. That's all we got to do.
It's a Sunday night here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that can only mean one thing. It's time for us to get into a grand finals on set and Bravo with, again, the pleasure and the privilege of calling the action here. And this was the matchup that we were thinking about, that we were dreaming of when we were building into this season, into this tournament itself. And now it's just a matchup we can't take our eyes off.
That's it. This is the matchup we've been waiting for. We waited 4 months for this matchup, and FaZe waited 4 months for their chance to take down OpTic Gaming and try to dethrone them. And let's not forget, they were essentially just a flag or two away and 8 or so minutes away from 3-0ing OpTic Gaming earlier today. However, OpTic Gaming in true Greenwall fashion, they rally back and they reverse sweep FaZe Clan to send FaZe to the elimination bracket and set up what we knew would be the grand final we would find ourselves with here in Charlotte.
No, this was like the full-blown like script that everyone wanted, just with the rivalry that we have with them. Especially in the online qualifiers in the SSG tournament, we pretty much we always met up in finals as us and them, us and FaZe. And honestly, I wanted it too. I think playing FaZe in finals is like, it's like the highest Halo competitively that you can play.
Make some noise for OpTic Gaming and FaZe Clan. Our grand finals is live. This is another triple cap now in the hands of OpTic.
Absolutely destroying with the heat wave.
Trippy loves this weapon. Hating FaZe, they're going to be able to flip B. What on earth did I just see him do? Not enough. FaZe Clan close things out. They're changing that up now, and I think it's catching FaZe off guard. A killing spree here for Trippy.
Three green. Watch Trinity.
MLG comebacks of all time.
Oh, he repulsed it! But OpTic Gaming will tie up the series here at 1-1. There's the up ball. It doesn't matter because OpTic clean up FaZe. Look at the difference in this game, Andy. It's become extremely scrappy.
Trippy blowing the game open though with that kill on a nice little grapple as well. Here at game is tied right around the 55 mark.
You guys top it. Good shit, Joey. Get out. Nice, Joey. Top cat.
He breaks in. OpTic break in as well. And even though FaZe went into a lead, OpTic have the hold.
That's 2 dead for FaZe still. This could be the final hold here. Lucy just has to hold gold.
Frosty's the only player forward at the moment. He has to break in, and he has to break in now. The nades rain down. FaZe make the play, but it's not enough. OpTic holds strong.
Now just 2 games away from closing out your grand finals. Here we go, King of the Hill on Streets.
I'm sitting on the AR spot on that cafe in Streets King. I have 2 rockets. There's 5 seconds left. I know that in Halo Infinite, you have to get in the hill to stop the time. So I know that I'm going to stay far away to the point where I wanted them to run in the hill and I could rocket them. So I rocket one person down on the nades. I think Frosty, I got him weak. And then World 2 is still running. They both still have to run. So I got 1 weak and the other guy I would have killed with this 1 rocket. So he runs into the hill. I shoot the rocket down at his feet. And I believe a nade was thrown by somebody and the nade deflected my rocket, my second rocket, and made my rocket go somewhere else, go flying, and didn't hit anybody. And then they were able to stay in the hill. I didn't do any damage with it, and they were able to stay in the hill at the very last second. I felt like shit. I think I have a pretty good mental game, but at the end of that game, I was like, damn, bro. I was like, what? Because I didn't know at the time, I did not know what happened. Nobody knew what happened until we were walking back to the hotel and we saw people tweeting at us saying, this is what happened to your rocket. Because at the time, I thought I just fucking choked. I was like, what did I just do? I thought, because I knew that if we win that game, we would have won the next game, no problem. We did win the next game, no problem. But I know that the series would have been fucking over. I was really hard on myself, but I will give a huge shout out to my teammates, and this is why I love them. They made me feel very
comfortable. They didn't make me feel like I made a mistake. They're not like, you know, I don't look to my left and see them shaking their heads at me. They all are looking at me and telling me, you know, don't worry about it. It's not on you. Don't worry about it. That was not your fault. We all saw what happened. Don't worry about it. And that's what they consistently told me.
The best Halo I've ever watched. It's the best Halo I've ever watched. We got another game of Halo in front of us. I need you to stand up right now, Charlotte, and make a little bit of noise, because this is a special feeling series right now. OpTic can still close it out, but FaZe have a chance to reset the bracket.
One of the most unforgettable grand finals undoubtedly in HCS play is happening before your eyes.
I think like both teams were just playing very, very like smart. We were like trying to like bait them in pushes. They were trying to bait us into pushing like just around the map and playing around the power weapons. So like, especially when they have weapons, like you just gotta play it a certain way, and it ended up draining a lot of the clock because like we weren't like just rushing each other. We were just taking our time with every push.
We should play for these guys to push off me, if anything.
Push off you.
Cuts. I go drive right here. I'm looking drive right.
No, somebody said heaven.
They're just gonna wait for Spike. Tom, be careful. They're just gonna wait for Spike to kill you.
As OpTic have a 2-kill advantage, but it's still just completely and utterly on a knife edge.
1 minute left, by the way. This game will not go to 50. Keep an eye on that game timer in the bottom center of your screen.
To get this Stalker Rifle, the Stalker Rifle holds teams back. It makes pushes so difficult as the OpTic fans start to raise their voices in the crowd here.
When it was all said and done, the dust had settled. It was like, you know, a minute left on the clock, and then they only had like 1 push left. We were up 2 kills.
Seconds left. They still have the 2-kill lead. Keep in mind, the pressure needs to come from FaZe Clan. They have 30 seconds left, and they need to go ahead and push.
I'm not saying a word. Cluttering the comms is the worst thing in this moment because everybody needs to hear everything very clearly in these last 7 seconds, right?
APG gets another onto Renegade. Huge. It's only a single kill, but it could be a tournament-winning one. Frosty finds a kill as well, and all of a sudden, FaZe Clan are forced to push. Snake Royal 2! Somehow stay alive. APG gives them a 2-kill advantage once more. Trippy gets another, and OpTic are closing in on a tournament victory, but Renegade comes in with 2 as well.
42-41, 3, 2, 1.
OpTic are your champions!
I mean, that was like the craziest series we played as a team. Like, that's a really good team. So like to win like that is just like amazing. Thank you guys so much again. You guys were awesome. And glad we
It feels good. It feels good. It feels good for people to finally have to give us the credit that we have rightfully deserved for a long time now.
You know, winning in the fashion that we did, when people were doubting us, especially too, people were saying we were in a slump. It felt great, like proving everyone wrong.
I mean, yeah, I never expected like 3-peat again, to be honest. Like, I didn't even think it was like possible. But yeah, when you 3-peat, you just know that you're the most dominant force like in the league. So it's a really nice feeling. Like we can 4-peat, we can 5-peat with this team. So I'm just hoping that we can just keep pushing on and see how far we can take it.
It's a blessing, man. It's a very big blessing to have people that still get on every single day and still put maximum effort in after still seeing so much success. Like Matt, he's been playing for a long ass time. He still gets on and tries his ass off. Tommy and Joey are just getting started, and that's what I love about them. Is these guys are just starting to learn how to win. Like Matt is a seasoned veteran winner. He has been winning. When you're sitting next to Matt and that man is saying some shit, like I'm not gonna say what he says, but he'd be saying some winning shit. So, and then you have Tommy and Joey, they're just learning and soaking it all up, and they're just gonna get better with time because they're just starting to see what it's like to win, and they're learning how to win.
People were saying like we were in a slump for getting second in every tournament online. I'm just like, wait, what? What do you guys mean we're in a slump? So yeah, we just had to prove everyone wrong, and you know, we just had to come in clutch with the 3-peat. God, it was crazy series. I'll never forget those 2 series ever. Like it was a battle, literally a titan, just like the Roman war. Like that shit was literally insane. So Dynasty, I don't really know what, like, honestly Matt would know that because he's been on like 8 dynasties. So And Matt's like three-peated in like 4 different games, so Matt would definitely know that question. But
I mean, like, dynasties are like need a lot more time. Like, we've only been together for like a year. I think a dynasty needs to be together for like 3 years, you know, and like dominating the whole time. So like, I think we're a little ways off from that. I think we're just a really dominant team right now. But who knows?
What keeps me going? So I think, first off, I think that I am currently the longest tenured pro player in controller esports next to Clayster. Number one, I'd say I am experiencing like this. I feel like this is a new breath of fresh air in my career. I'm experiencing so many new things that I feel like the first like 10 years of my career just didn't even matter. I feel like 2019 is when I really started like being a winner, to like where I learned so much in 2019 on the Talks team that all I wanted to do was just still play and improve. Like, it wasn't like I was getting third or so. I'm like, I'm almost done. I've been playing for a while. It's like, I'm learning. I'm still getting better. It's not my hands. It's literally my mind. It's not my hands at all. Like, my hands are so good. It's my mind. If my mind isn't sharp and is still improving, I'm going to improve. So just the feeling of improving. Like, when people work out and they see a little bit of gains and they want to keep going, like when I play, I see myself getting better. I want to keep fucking getting better. I love to just beat people. I love to be the best. I love to earn my success. I pride myself in saying I think I have the best mental game. I would say, I think Matt, my teammates, obviously, I think Matt is a different breed. But I'd say I think I have a great mental game considering the things I've been through and where I'm at today. I've been through a lot. I was in a car accident in 2016. I wasn't even able to play Halo back then. I had nine stitches in my mouth. My mouth was sewed shut. I had to stop playing Halo. In that time, I had to literally step back from my team. Was grateful enough to randomly get on OpTic because one of the teammates left and I had to play. I was forced to play. Had a severe concussion. Doctor told me not to play, but I had to force myself. Certain shit like that, when I look back on it and I think like where I've come from back when I literally physically was told not to play Halo to now I'm on a 3-peat and still fucking getting better, and I love everything I do. I wake up and I'm just happy. I'm genuinely happy. So it's just my mindset. I'd say my mindset is just each day improving, and I'm very grateful to do what I do. All right, that's good?
Yeah.